So my understanding of the reading gave us insight on how citizenship really changes the rights that you have as an American. What I found interesting was how the denial of a citizenship could be a loophole for industries or companies to find a way for cheap labor. This especially was prevalent in the Asian community. The article states, we understand this history of exclusion from citizenship as a product of competing interests and institutions, including capital, which has historically embraced Asian immigrant labor, white labor interests, which has historically organized to prohibit Asian immigrant labor. So this also affects the citizenship for Asians because if the Asians were to become citizens, it may replace other blue-collar jobs for other white citizens in that job market. This is because particularly Asians were more willing to work hard labor jobs for less, and it might affect the white citizens' job market. Another point is the use of internment camps instead of the use of the words internment camps instead of incarceration. It seemed to imply that the use of this word was not as bad as using incarceration. Was one connection to an article is how many of the plantations in Hawaii used Asian labor. This seems to be the reason why Asian immigrants was important to these plantations, because it provided cheap labor. Was one personal connection? So maybe one personal connection would be is how I am prideful of my citizenship here in America, and I understand the importance of voting and having our rights here while living in this country. And I cannot imagine what it was like to be born here in Hawaii or the mainland but not having a citizenship. So 2 questions. Do you understand, speak Pidgin? If you don't, do you know anyone that does? So I rarely speak Pidgin these days since I go to school, have a job that requires customer service, so I see no need to speak that. Though I do know a lot of my uncles and grandparents, they do speak Pidgin a lot. How different would the islands of Hawaii be if we weren't so heavily influenced by outside nations? Obviously, Hawaii would be so much more different. There'd be obviously a bigger native population, and Kingdom of Hawaii would still be around. They might have maybe allied with other powerful nations, though it was inevitable for our small island nation to be influenced since it was a strategic point in the middle of the Pacific.